Get elevated. Oh yeah, with AD on 98.5 KLUC.
What's going on, Vegas? AD with the with you know, my fellow waffle color brother, Logic in the building. What's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm good.
You know,
waffle color.
So this is the second stop on the tour. Last night was Utah, correct?
Yeah.
October, you're hitting Europe, all that.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
First album to crack the 200 on the Billboard charts.
Crazy,
right?
yeah, number one.
That's big dog status.
Number one album.
So Vegas, and this is I'm not trying to kill your vibe right now, but Vegas in 2008 was known as the suicide capital. 2011, we were number one via Business Insider with 34.5 people for every 100,000 people committing suicide.
Damn.
It's a very tough topic to conquer, to talk about.
100%.
You did it and made it sound easy. I haven't heard it done before. And I'm sure it was in a different fashion.
Yeah, never on a mainstream level. Like
correct.
Yeah,
and by the way, we're playing the crap out of the song.
Thank you.
So was there did something happen that inspired the song? Was it just creatively like I want to give my vibe to this? No one's done it yet. Let me throw this out there. Where'd that come from?
Yeah, I think the album is conceptually about how basically like reincarnation, how we're all the same person. You know what I mean? It's just one guy living everybody's life. And I think that's one of the things that has to do with it when it comes to anxiety, mental health, depression, and suicide. So it was the hardest song for me to write because it was like the most fucking depressing. You know what I mean? And it was really hard. But the actual writing, it came pretty easy. You know what I mean? But it was just hard because I'm in the studio reliving it over and over and over and getting it right. Because for me, it needed to be as selfless as possible because it wasn't about me. It was about the message and the people that hopefully it would affect and touch in a positive way.
Well, I think you did that very well, so we appreciate it. My favorite song on the album is The Black Spider-Man.
Oh, turn up. Nice.
So my dad is white, my mom is black, so
cool.
The biracial aspect, the whole album is like that as far as the topics. It's a concept album you mentioned before.
Yeah.
So that speaks to me a great ordeal. One thing that I struggled with as a kid was that could never get the freshest lineup in the world. So I always thought that if you had a black dad, you could get the fresh lineup. Drake, J. Cole.
I know,
I see
right?
you experience the same thing as me though.
Yeah, no.
It's tough. The fade is where it's at. The lineup is tough.
Yeah, I guess so.
You know, but that's just one thing. That's one thing that crossed my mind as being a waffle color brother.
That's
so I had
hilarious.
to throw that out there.
I like that waffle color brother.
You know, and then the last one, my second favorite song is the last song on the album, and I don't know if I pronounced it right,
Africarian.
but Africarian. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I love everything about that. I love
Thanks,
the title. The title grasped me from the jump.
Yeah.
And one thing I didn't catch though, as I'm listening to the album for the first time, I thought like a Cole album had started playing. I thought the song was over. Like I went to the skit. And then next thing I know, I'm like, Cole, this isn't on Cole's album. Like, what is this? Like, I haven't heard this, but I'm like, holy crap, you got Cole on the album.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you've heard this before, but it seems like your music has some type of inspiration from Cole, from Kendrick.
Yeah, from many people.
And you're 20.
Nas, Big L, Tupac Shakur, Biggie, fucking Mos Def, The Roots, Tribe Called Quest, like so many people.
The hip hoppers of the hip hoppers.
Yeah.
So I'm 27 as well.
Nice.
So I came up on like 2010 is when I got introduced to Cole.
Me too. 2009.
Okay, sideline story, all that.
Yeah, I found him warm up.
Okay.
And then went back to come up, and then found him with Friday Night, and then Friday Night Lights was like when I was really into it.
So to get that Cole feature, what does that mean to you?
It means the world to me, because without Cole, there's no Logic. You know, just like without Jay-Z or Kanye or any people, there's no Cole. You know what I mean? So I was that generation where like he meant that to me.
Okay.
So for him to write a song that's actually just a letter from Jermaine to Bobby meant so more than you could ever imagine.
Shit was hard as hell.
Thanks, brother.
Now there's this song that Jay-Z just put out on his album, the 444. And I'll say the clean one, but he goes light jigga, dark jigga, so, but we're still jigga.
I love that.
How does that like as far as that connotation? You mentioned being like your black side, like oh you're white, but then you go to the white side, oh I'm not accepted. Do you still get confused at times? Is it still frustrating to this day?
No, I'm not confused. It's the world that's confused.
I like that.
I'm not confused. I know who I am. Like I'm black and white. That's who I am.
Right.
Like I know both sides of each culture. You know what I'm saying? I like Seinfeld and I love Martin.
Okay.
Like, you know
Facts.
what I'm saying? Like
Facts.
It is what it is. So it's other people. That's really what it comes down to. Because me and you can sit here and have such a positive conversation about race, especially since you're mixed. So it's like you know what it's like. You're comfortable with who you are. It's typically when you're interviewing with someone or speaking to somebody who doesn't know what it's like to be in your shoes, so they want to tell you what you are, what you aren't, or this or that, and then it becomes this whole like not argument, but not even a debate, but it's just kind of their way because it's like that's how they see you. So you know, I've had people be like, "Oh, your dad's black, you're a black man," but it's like, okay, I get it. And in many ways in my life, like you know, there's certain aspects where I could identify more as black than white.
Right.
because I was raised in a black household or this or that, whatever. So it's pretty crazy. But like I said, no, I think it's other people's perception that is confusing, not my own.
I'm glad you put it that way, because I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I don't know if I'm confused, frustrated, or not. So I'm glad you put it like that. I gotta ask, as far as being in a room, someone may not know you're black.
Yeah.
And let's say they spew out the N-word. Do you correct them right off top?
Wait, are you talking about somebody using a derogatory term?
Just saying it, like let's say they're just saying it in conversation.
Are you talking about like a white person?
Correct. Yes.
Of course.
You gotta correct them.
100%.
Okay, facts.
See, that's also the other thing that people could look at me and be like, oh well, you never had to face that or this or that, but it's
False.
like I have, because I've had to step out if some dumbass racist white person says some shit out their mouth, and vice versa. Whether it's somebody like shitting on white people or like white people are the devil or this, it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, no, they're not.
Right.
Racist white people are the fucking devil, but
Facts.
like white people, like, nah, you know what I
Okay.
mean? Especially white woke people, you know,
Right.
who understand and
Make you
are
feel
there-
good.
Yeah, are there to support, you know, culture in general, all people's culture. So, yeah, no, I've been in that position many a times, and that's a difficult part, because there's that conscience in you that's like, do I speak up or do I not? And as a young boy, I had to make that decision.
Facts.
You know?
I'm glad you put it that way. Sometimes I go back and forth with myself, as far as I get mad at white people. Sometimes I'm like, why am I mad right now? Like I gotta reel that back in.
It's just dumb people. Like, that's another thing what it is, because it's like, it's just dumbass people, man. If somebody's like racist, like, fuck that person. You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
You're
like,
not in my circle.
But that's the thing that's hard for us as human beings. We associate what one person could do, or a mass amount of people could do, with their entire culture. You
Right.
know what I mean? Because like, not all white people are racist. Like,
at
that's
all.
the dumbest shit like ever. But at the same thing, it's at the same time, it's like people could say anyway. I mean, we could have this conversation
All day,
forever. I
right.
guess all I'm saying is like, look, man, there's good people and there's bad people everywhere, and I don't think you should judge an entire race for something. That's just like ignorant ass white people saying, I don't know, all black people steal because, I don't know, they saw a black person robbing a 7-Eleven.
They saw Boys in the
once.
Hood or something.
Yeah, or some dumbass shit
Right.
like that. It's like, no, that's just that's merely a representation of people who are going through a struggle and know nothing else and have no means to be able to, you know, afford certain things. So then and then it's also like the struggle that they don't realize what it's like to be on welfare and food stamps and Section 8 housing, and you know, you grew up and you entered a gang because your family was fucked up and that's all you knew, and then you caught charges and now you can't get a real job, so you really only can resort to doing shit in the street. So it's just all recycling, and then white people look at that and they're just like, oh, it's just another black person, just like, and
They don't understand.
They don't fucking get it, man.
Not at all.
They don't understand.
Well,
Yeah.
I think you've definitely done your part. Not just with the album, but as a whole. But the album definitely. So shout out to everybody. Shout out to the tour. Shout out to your success, the Rat Pack, and everything.
man.
Please keep on going. You're doing it for everybody, but I feel like you're doing it for me as well. I really relate to the album. So
Thanks, brother.
so love,
I appreciate that.
Logic,
Swag.
boom.
Yo, that was really nice, man.
No, it's real. It's love.
Yeah, you really did your homework.
I've been listening to you since I got hip through the Come Up. That was like the first record.
Get elevated. Oh yeah, with AD on 98.5 KLUC.